want them so attentive there. And make sure that you know your intro. Obviously, that'll kind of set the tone, set the mood. Stay on script so you'll be consistent. It's not very cool if you have a 70% show one week, which is amazing, right? A 70% show, and then the next week you have a 35. The next week you have a 30, then you have a 45. You don't want to run a business that way. You know, I like the fact that I knew when I was running interviews, I could tell you exactly what percentage I was going to have in there. There was no like guessing on chairs. I knew what I would have. You know, so make sure that you obviously are following the script, that you do the same stories, that you do everything the exact same. You're telling everything when you're going through your interviews. Your goal is to be a 50+% show to training. Okay, you want to get to at least 50. Everybody understand that? Like some people might promote differently, but nobody I don't think promotes anymore. But you want to get to 50. Like that's ridiculous to be under 50. Now, when you're new, that's totally normal. Everybody feel me? So I'm not saying like you suck if you're not at 50. But you want to get to 50. Like that's the goal. Like you want less than. And if some of you that haven't ran a lot of interviews, that means that out of everybody that you set up for training, if I said 50, 25 are coming. Okay, and then some of you might get a little higher, you know, but your goal is to get to 50. I got this from Lloyd. Lloyd, you know, I've heard him say this before and put it down in different documents that, you know, you can get a 30% show to training by just getting up there and doing an okay interview and just reading the script. 30%. But 30% is not what you're after. I'll tell you, one year, I had a whole year where we had a 30% show. I lost a gang load of cash. So if you want to run a branch or a district with us, you don't want 30% show. You want to work on improving that. So if you're at 30 now, you're like, dude, I've ran interviews for a year. I can't get better. Yes, you can. You're just not looking for the answers. Or you're mistaking to yourself that you're already a good recruiter. Because you're like, dude, I've ran interviews for 2 years. Some of you guys need to check your attitude about that. Just because you've ran a gang load of interviews doesn't mean you're a good recruiter. Okay, so really, really strive to improve. Little basic tip here. Don't say you in the interview. I'm just not a fan of giving somebody ownership before they have the position or before I accept them. And hopefully that's pretty normal for you guys. So just somebody know how to fix that, not say you.
Our reps.
Our reps, yeah. So yeah, you know, so you guys are going to be doing this, and you guys are paying to do this. It's, you know, our representatives, our representatives. I don't know if I've had this in there yet, but use pushaways. I know some people feel different about pushaways. Not like beating them up with pushaways. What's a pushaway? Who can give me a pushaway? Nobody? Jacob from my office?
I can't hire everybody.
Yeah, guys, and don't be lame with this, because then you come off as like a cheesy used car salesman. Okay, so just be like, yeah, you know, and if any of you guys are accepted, or, you know, one of the hardest parts of my job is I'm not able to, you know, work with everybody. Just different small things like that. And I know you want to talk to your district manager about doing this before, so I don't want you to go out and start saying all these wrong things. But just little small pushways, especially the sharp kid that's just sitting up in the front and he thinks he already has a job. You know, I'm going to put him in check and he's going to sit up in his chair and he's going to answer my questions. You know, and that's what you want. Next, cater to the season. What do I mean by the season? If it's the fall, everybody's just going back to class right now. Your interview should change with the season. When I say change, not change the interview, but just change certain little verbiage of the interview. So if I'm going through, I don't know, hey, like, yeah, you know, one of the awesome or flexible schedules, one of the great things about our job is that, I mean, all of you are pretty much students, and, you know, I used to be a student, so, you know, I understand that there's some times of the semester where 1 week you have absolutely nothing to do in school, and you can totally work like, you know, 10 extra hours. And then the next week you have to totally cut down. Have y'all ever had a job where you have a manager give you like too many hours or too little hours? And that's basics from training. In there, they're going to say, yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. So that just allows our representatives, or if any of you guys are selected with us, then you would be able to work around your schedule. We can kind of flex around those weeks. If you have any big papers, test quizzes, if you're part of fraternity or rush, and just go through all those different things. Not all at once, but throughout the interview. Cater to the season. The next thing here, create the ideal job for a student. That's pretty easy because the majority of you guys are students. My manager used to ask me, he's like, dude, where should we fly? That was common sense because I went those places. Okay, and it's, you know, for me right now, it's still pretty much common sense, you know. Think about a student. What do students want in a job? So spit that out in your interview. The easy one, remember in the interview, everything was supposed to happen. Like your group interview, everything was supposed to happen. Kid gets up and walks out. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, you need to get, okay, yeah, awesome. That makes sense. I'm like, where are you going? I could care less if he walks out, which shouldn't happen. But if he does, I'm like, oh, you need to leave? Yeah, go ahead, that's fine. You know, everything's supposed to happen. I had a guy, make sure when they're cutting with a serrated edge that you tell them to cut slowly. Okay? So cut slowly, because what if serrated edges cut like? saw them, they rip and they shred and they tear. And one actually tore through my thumb. And I was like, oh, let's roll on. Put it in my pocket, you know. Let's keep on talking. That shouldn't scare you because obviously you've done tons of demos there. But the point is, hey, it's supposed to happen. Like, supposed to touch your finger? Oh yeah. Do you see how jagged that cut is? Wrap up the group strong. I'm just going to wrap up a few things here, guys. Wrap up your group interview strong. Make sure that my knockout punch was just hardcore on experience, and I would just make it in the nicest way possible. You'd be an idiot not to just beg for this job. Okay, and I use this story about how, my cousin was a golden boy in the family. He was the one that, went to private school his whole life and was studying flashcards while I was out riding my bike. And, he was the man, and everybody expected him to do all this stuff. And, he graduated college, was part of all these student groups, and, 4.0, Dean's List, da-da-da-da-da-da. But he got out into the real world, and, he had to work at Home Depot for a couple of years as like a shift leader. I told him, I'm not dogging Home Depot, but, he was an accounting major. He wasn't using his degree at all. And now he's actually 32 years, and I go through the story there, he's 32 years old now, and he's actually just about to finish nursing school because he's now finding his niche because he did not get any experience while through school. So if any of you guys, if I give you one tip, is that make yourself competitive in the real world. Don't do things that your friends are doing. Set yourself aside from them. Every college student, when they graduate college, the reason it's so competitive is that everybody's resume looks the exact same. So if I give you an advice, whether I'm able to work with you or not, it would be to separate yourself in pack and yada, yada, yada. And they're like, I want this. At the end, knockout punch. Real quick, if you do a post-interview or callback, just wrapping this stuff up, make sure that you take your time. You should not act like it's the 50th person that you've accepted today. And this, for a lot of sharp people, they're kind of buying into you now, but they're not quite sold on the position yet. And if you give them some half answer, they're going to see right through that. So I give all the same kind of answers when I'm wrapping up, but I give different answers for different people. So just general examples here. It says, I really like how you're outgoing. You do not hesitate to speak up in the interview, which is why I feel that you'd be great for the position. You seem really laid back for somebody that's quiet and didn't answer a lot of questions. Jared, you seem really laid back and chill. That's definitely one of the main things I look for in our applicants, since, we work with customers on a, real laid back, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so cater to them. It seems like you're very comfortable in the one-on-one setting, pre-screening, whatever. You did a great job maintaining eye contact throughout the entire time. That definitely impressed me. You seem to be really eager to learn. You were taking a lot of notes. You seem to be very upbeat and positive, and I think you'd really fit in well with our team. So that's a little generic bank of things you can use. Keep that bad boy out and just spit them out to different people. Now, if Baldwin didn't answer any questions, don't tell him how he was the man answering questions, though. Be like, dude, I didn't answer any questions, because I was actually not really buying into your interview the whole time. But then if you give them a legit reason when you accept them, they might, hey, this guy or girl's, legit. They're real. And again, remember guys, good recruiters, just wrapping up here, are not people that just get a good show. Right now that should be your badge of honor. But good recruiters know how to get people into the office. Does everybody understand that? So when you're a manager, you don't just have people show up, you have to get them in. And I have a quick laundry list, some active ways where you can actually help out your manager and fill the seats. You guys should try to do as many interviews as you possibly can. Great thing, I'll call it Alex Webster. Alex was awesome about this. Last year when she was in my office, I don't care what it was. Alex was like, oh, word, I get to vacuum? And Alex was down to do anything and everything she could just to get extra experience. It wasn't really vacuum, but to get extra experience, okay? So if you want to run more interviews, like I have a lot of people running interviews in my office, then we need more people coming in the doors, okay? So there's a laundry list of things that you can do to help your manager. Flyering and posting on campus, apartments, malls, movies, games, concerts, clubs. Help run a table on campus, okay? Like come in between classes, help flyer. We've passed out like 10,000, at least 10,000 flyers in the past Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on campus. That was just guys in between class. If you go to our table on campus, there's 10 people surrounding it, okay? Because people are helping out. Post your Craigslist ads. Ask your manager to teach you how to repost Craigslist ads. You can help them out with that. Call PR names. PRs are awesome. The next one, call ads, no-shows, interviews, help your ERAs, and ask your manager how you can help them get more people in training, guys. So good luck with everything this fall. We'll talk to you later.